Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am really glad that you are here. This is episode number 48. I mean, if you can believe it, I have a hard time believing it. But there's gonna be some change around here, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I've been working on, what changes I'm making, why this is important to you as a listener, as a client, as a potential client, because I've been busy and I've realized just some things recently that that are important to me that I want to bring and put out into the world and bring to you. So, I wanted to start first, just to back up a little and talk about why I'm going to be making some changes to this podcast. And I thank you for being here and I thank you for following along. And I'm going to be making some change and it is going to be even better because I am on fire right now with what I want to bring to this world and how I want to help people. And I want to start by taking a step back and telling you what I'm seeing in the market when it comes to leadership and what my viewpoint is on the market today. Because, so as most of you know, if you've been around a while, I worked 28 years in a corporate environment, and I have been a coach for the past 3 years, working very, very intensively with a lot of people over the past 18 months. And there has just been things that I don't want to say bother me, but that really light a fire underneath my butt and that I want to help people on these certain topics. So I want to start off with my point of view, and some of this might not be new to you at all, but it is truly what I'm seeing and what I saw in the past, what I'm seeing with a lot of my clients today. And then I'll tell you how this is going to affect the podcast and other things that I'm doing moving forward. So my first point of things that I'm seeing in the market is so many people are simply exhausted by the intensity. The pace of organizations and what they demand is incredible. And while I understand that, because yes, we are living in a truly unpredictable world right now, and things change so fast, but we are human beings. And I think that there is simply a disconnect between the unrelentless pace and what leaders and people and human beings can sustainably deliver. And I see so many people today running on adrenaline, and they're in a very reactive mode. And these are incredibly smart and capable people, but the constant pressure to be on is eroding their energy, their judgment, and their health. I have a client right now. He told me he's a business owner. He hasn't taken a vacation in 20 years. 20 years, because he's always on. That for me is not what this world and this life should be about. So that is my first point. Leaders are exhausted by that intensity. My second point is trust. It's becoming more and more important, and it really separates highly performing teams and less successful teams. I think that teams and people, they're not looking for somebody now who is all gung-ho and it's all, I would say, surface level excitement and motivation. Teams and people in this world today want someone they can rely on, someone steady, honest, consistent. Titles and expertise still matter, but trust, that is what I think has become the real currency. My third observation is that change is being managed in organizations in such a reactive and unstructured way, and it has such a negative influence. I'm working with a client right now. They were recently acquired, and I say recently, it was probably 6 months ago. And the 6 months before that, they knew they were going to be acquired. So they've spent the last year really in limbo, going in and out of it's going to be like this. No, it's like this. Our business unit is going to be broken apart. No, it's actually going to stay together. It's just a mess. And so while change, and it's a completely normal part of life, but I still think that we can manage it with calm, and it doesn't have to constantly be reactive. I think simply people and leaders are tired of chaos designed as innovation or, change just because we have to change. I just think that there's another way to handle change. My fourth observation is a lot of the communication, it's creating complexity, and people need clarity. If you want to have a successful organization and team, expectations need to be made clear. Vague decisions and unspoken assumptions, those things are going to kill team effectiveness. And so just the people that I see are simply almost starving for clarity and just not knowing even what is expected of them. And then my fifth point is that leaders are just growing faster than their internal capability. I work with a lot of businesses that are growing really fast. It is very exciting. But a lot of times also that internal, how they're managing their internal self, their emotions, their energy, they're not managing it. And it's difficult to manage because they've got more responsibility or the pace is faster. So that internal capacity also is something that I see being stretched even thinner. So my viewpoint on what I am seeing is, one, I think being a strong leader, it has shifted. Now I think it's all about composure. Leaders, and I see this today with my clients, who stand out aren't the ones who talk the most or move the fastest. They're the ones who stay steady when everyone else is in a panic or very anxious. I see it as being calm. It is not passive. It is modern authority. The second thing is integrity. It's not a nice to have. Today, integrity is what makes leaders effective and successful. People need to trust you. And that is going to help execution, alignment, influence, doing what's right consistently and quietly. That has actually become an advantage. And I think that ethical leadership today, it's not something that's idealistic, it's effective, and we need it. Transformation, this is my third point, is that while, yes, transformation and change, it's part of life now, really important, but it doesn't have to be loud and messy. It can be structured, it can be respectful of what already works. You don't need to blow everything up and constantly create chaos. I think clarity is also one of the most practical leadership tools and the most effective tools that we have. Clear expectations, clear decisions, and clear communication remove friction immediately. It helps people breathe, and when they can breathe, they can do their jobs well. And I think also growth for individual leaders, the emotional regulation today has become so important that when you are grounded, that is only going to serve you. Having that grounded inner foundation is going to help you succeed. And that grounding is what also helps people experience less overwhelm, less reactivity, and less burnout. So what I think that this is all pointing to is a different kind of leadership, a different kind of strength, of leadership presence that's steady, ethical, very intentional, very grounded, and very aligned with who you are as a human being. I think that that is the leadership of tomorrow. And I want to promote leadership that isn't going to cost people their health, their relationship, their self-confidence. I want people to be able to influence with integrity, to be able to impact the organization, the business, without being overly exhausted. And I think I want people to have authority that comes from within, not from speaking the loudest. And so the reason why that this is so important, first of all, is that it has helped me realize some things about my business and about also the people that I want to work with. And so first of all, for the podcast, because if you are listening, that means you are a podcast listener. So thank you very much. I'm changing the podcast name. Now, I did change it a couple months ago to Stepping into the Arena. And while I love that name, there was something in that still didn't feel 100% right. And so I've given it some thought, and what feels truly aligned with me today is grounded and aligned leadership. So that is why the first decision I have made is to change the podcast name to Grounded and Aligned Leadership. And it's going to be around the principles that I have just discussed, because that, I truly believe, that is what people need today to be successful. You don't need another coach or another podcaster telling you about how to get ahead. And I want to be part of the next generation of leadership. And so that's why I'm hoping also that this resonates for you. So the first thing is changing my podcast name. The second thing is starting in December, so 2025, I am going to have also a Grounded and Aligned daily podcast. And what that means specifically, I'm calling it Coffee Chat, as if we were having coffee every single day. It is going to be Monday through Friday. It is a private podcast. So I will put the link in the show notes for you to be able to sign up. It is free to get that daily podcast. It will be a lot more spontaneous. It will be probably between, 5 and 10 minutes. So something short, sweet, and just something that I have on my heart or on my mind that day. So that's going to be daily coffee. And that two other things I'm doing, I'm also going to be offering monthly a free, I don't want to say webinar because I want it to be a little bit more interactive. It is going to be more a workshop format or a lab format. So I'm going to be offering that once a month, and it will also be free. So you can also find the information on my website. And then I've also been developing, and this is for my current clients and my past clients, a lot of training modules. So I've been building that up over the past couple months, and those are also going to be released to my clients and past clients in December. So there's a lot going on around here. But I hope one of the key things that I would really love for you to take away is that it's really important to do things that are aligned with who you are. And it's okay to change. I have given this some thought. I'm a massive action taker. So usually I make decisions and I move on. This time I've made decisions, but I've allowed myself to sit with it also because I think I needed to digest it. And so I'm glad you're along for the ride. I'm really, really happy that you are here. Thank you so much for supporting me and putting up with the changes. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Have a great week. And again, thank you for being here.